Heard about Robbie's death. We had just gone on a vacation to the beach about an hour from home here, and it was the first vacation that we had gone on in many, many years, and we had really been excited about going. Robbie had stayed home, and basically because of his job, and he was working at the time for a summer job, and the crash occurred on a late Monday night, and August 1st, 1988, and we didn't find out about it till about 7 o'clock the next morning. Very close friends of ours drove over to the beach and woke us and told my wife about the crash. And needless to say, we were totally devastated. You go through things that you just can't describe. Where Robbie and the thoughts of Robbie and the memories flash back immediately. And then a total numbness, just not knowing what you're doing or what you're thinking or what you're saying.
That Tuesday morning, I guess it would be, one of Robbie's friends called me and told me there was an accident. And then I had to come quick, and that Robbie was hurt. And I didn't quite understand what was going on, but I ended up at the hospital, and no one knew where Robbie was. And then the police detective pulled me over and told me that Robbie had been killed. And the only thing I could think is, how could this happen? How could this? We were good kids. We had a lot in our life. And I couldn't understand how he could be here one second and gone the next.
Bruce Kimball's problems continued to mount since his arrest in early August. 2 teens died, 4 others injured when Kimball's car plowed into a popular hangout in Valrico. Kimball faced vehicular manslaughter, but apparent evidence that the Olympic diver was drunk prompted new charges.
Our policy is to file charges under the most serious offense that we believe the evidence warrants, and that's why we selected the DUI manslaughter charges.
Specifically, Kimball is charged with 2 counts of second-degree felony DUI manslaughter for the deaths of Robbie Bedell and Kevin Gossick, 3 counts of third-degree felony DUI with personal injury for those hurt in the wreck.
I've dealt with a tremendous amount of adversity in my life. I've experienced enough to know that a person doesn't give up. Not a person here has any understanding of the feelings of grief and remorse that I've experienced in the last 2 weeks. I would like to express my deepest sympathies for the families and friends of the victims of this tragedy.
The state attorney is not confirming Kimball's blood alcohol content level when he crashed into the teens on this spot, but law enforcement officials confirmed with Action News a level of .20, twice the legal limit.
If an individual is killed by the criminal actions of another person, it doesn't matter whether that death is called a manslaughter because of a gunshot or whether it's a manslaughter by driving while under the influence of alcohol. It is still a criminal homicide, it is a felony, and it will be prosecuted as such. More and more people, without thinking about it at all, are getting behind the wheels of cars and causing accidents, causing deaths, causing serious bodily injuries of one sort or another. It is a problem which is getting worse. Whether it's going to get worse before it gets better or not, I don't know. But I do know that because of the increasing problem and because of the changing public perception to this problem, that in this day and age, these offenses, these so-called accidents, are going to be and are being regarded as the very, very serious felonies which they are.
16-year-old R.J. Kirker feels lucky to be alive. The teenager's left leg was nearly severed in the accident. His mother says she always fussed at her son for not having his tennis shoes tied. But in this case, it may have saved his life.
It probably would not have a leg, or it would have taken it completely off.
Kirker's left tennis shoe was found in the wheel well of Kimball's car.
I've been in the hospital for a month. I went in there originally, and the first 10 days was fine. Everything, the first 2 operations I had pins in my leg, 4 pins going all the way down. They'd done a flap operation and bone grafts, among other things, to help it heal up and to keep from infection. And I'd gotten out. I had another pin in my foot to keep it from dropping because I don't have any muscle control in my bottom foot for bringing it up. They thought maybe it wouldn't heal right. So they put one in there, and when they took it out, it's swollen up, and I had to go in for another 17 days. From there on, it's been trying to get back to what I had before. It's really hard to sit here, watch other people run or play sports, and knowing that I did it before, I'm not able to now. Before I played soccer and football, and I did all kinds of active sports, swimming, golf, anything that interests me.
RJ has been very brave, through this whole thing. He's handled it very, very well. I wish that people would think before they get behind the wheel of a car after drinking. When we hit someone, we injure them, kill them, it's not just the person that you hit who suffers. It's the family. It's the person who's done the damage. He suffers. His family suffers. Everyone is hurt.
Kimball arrived at the Hillsborough County Court this morning, and there were hordes of photographers and members of the press to greet him. Before he arrived, Circuit Judge Harry Lee Coe, accompanied by court bailiffs and Kimball's attorneys, engaged in some preliminary questioning of jurors. All along, publicity surrounding the trial has been an issue. In court, Mothers Against Drunk Driving and friends and family of the victims all sat patiently, waiting for what they call long-awaited justice in a case that's the classic example, they say, of the ills of drunk driving.
When we were initially approached to represent Bruce Kimball, the last thing in Bruce's mind or any of the witnesses that were in the car with him that night was that they were under the influence of alcoholic beverages. We initially thought that there was going to be a very valid defense in that case until we were confronted with the blood alcohol, which was a 2.0, twice the legal blood alcohol. It was real disappointing when we realized that that was going to be the blood alcohol that would be introduced into evidence.
Just after opening arguments, the jury was escorted out of the courtroom. Kimball met with his lawyers for about 25 minutes. He came back with tears in his eyes, talked to his parents, and lawyers told the judge he would plead guilty to DUI manslaughter and DUI causing serious bodily injury. Today, one witness took the stand, the deputy first on the scene of the accident.
The first thing that I saw was a body laying in the road. It was in several pieces.
And she says there was a foot with 2 more bodies nearby. As the prosecutor prepared to show the jury the picture of a mutilated body, the proceeding came to a halt.
They pled guilty to the 2 counts of DUI manslaughter and 3 counts of DUI with causing serious bodily injury. The state dropped the 2 counts of manslaughter by culpable negligence because it's not part of a plea agreement.